and be a lot bolder about the type of result I'm trying to get. It is that inset, this type of fold that I'm trying to do. Even if the geometry is looking a little silly at this low polygon state, it's fine. You can push. The minute you start subdividing, everything will start behaving. Yeah, now it's starting to look a lot more realistic. The type of shape I'm trying to create. And I have to also extend that here. Okay, that's enough of a folding. Let's see if I can do some light extension of this detail to simulate this light creasing, because like I said, as we go to the top, I don't want to put too much information up top. Yeah, that looks pretty good. And then just do one more simple crease here that connects here, and that should suffice. Just push in just a little bit, just to follow that logic of ensuring that whenever you pull material, you push some too. And this could just disappear up top. Not too aggressive. You have to be very careful. The panel is coming over there. Same here. A little push. Let's get a little bit of detail up there. All right, so that looks like that's going to be enough for the block out of this thing. And make sure that this is a nice crescent shape. Now that I look at this front side, I do realize I've made one of those amateur mistakes. Just feels like a fold that is not warranted, like too much of a fold, especially on this part where you have this really thick panel. I can see a dig happening in here, but to have that much of an aggressive fold on the opposing end, doesn't feel right. So when I look at this, just want to be careful about how much I'm doing. And then I'm going to try to see if I can go with a dig like that and whether that would sell better. It's very important to have a reference. When you go playing around and doing your own shapes, you're really have to start thinking about how it's working. First, I'm going to try popular lift like that to see if it works. That could work. A lift like that would work. I'm pushing this side in, getting a flatter. Sometimes not just you're not getting just like a slit. You are getting a gap. Nice little gap over there. And yeah, if I'm going to pull this much material over here, you need an inset like that. And think about what I could do down here. Don't want to repeat the exact same thing. Yeah, things look a little muddy here. I need a better resolution for what's happening here. I think these turned out okay. Perhaps it's about continuing on to make sure it makes logical sense all the way down here. And that, yeah, I think it was just, it terminated too soon and it made it look weird. So I could get away with this. Yes, I just needed to make sure it went in there and finished the shape. With cloth, it's so easy for things to look broken. Just one unrealistic thing and it looks broken. If I look at her sweatpants, I did make a lot of amateur mistakes over there, so some of them look broken, but that one is significantly more difficult than just dealing with this hood and zoning in on a couple of folds. Right? But yeah, if I'd taken the time on her sweatpants, I would have gotten superior results too. But yeah, you have to pay attention to this stuff. It's a really tough cloth sculpting. But yeah, I think this is a good preliminary block out that I can count on. Just have to polish some of these shapes a bit and then prepare to really get it cleaned up as it goes to a higher subdivision level. All right, before I start subdividing and detailing this hoodie to completion, there are 3 things that I'm going to do. The first one is to detail this neck guard to the same level that the hood and the hoodie's body have been detailed to. So it's going to get some type of blocking information, and we're going to look at the reference shortly to see what we'll do. But before I get to that, there's another big important thing that I want to do. You see, when I started designing this character, I completely forgot that I had a tail. I have to consider ways in which I'm going to accommodate this tail on both of his outfits and also later on his shirt. Now, when it comes to his jeans, I don't mind if the tail just sits on top of the jeans like this. This doesn't bother me. This is how I basically detailed my character Kiwa, and it's the same thing I'm also going to do for the snow leopard. Her tail is just going to sit on top here. I'm not going to take apart the jeans to accommodate the tail. But for the hoodies, I want to do something different for each of them. For this baggy hoodie, I think it would be cool if I made a hole back here to accommodate the tail. And then with the cropped hoodie, I was considering lifting it up so that it all sits on top of the tail. And let me see if I can draw what I was planning to do. So my goal was to be able to sort of like lift all these items and let them wrap around the tail. So then I'll end up with creasing here. I'll end up with creasing from this bottom shirt, like so. And then I'd end up with creasing from here. But I think that would be a really silly idea because it will ruin a lot of the nice silhouettes that this attire produces. It'll just be too much of a change in the silhouette that I've been working and planning on for so long. This would kind of go higher, this would sort of arc a little bit. It's just a little too much, but it would be a good way to accommodate the tail, let it sit on top of there. But I think I have a better idea. I don't want to do the same type of hole for both attires, so for this one I'm going to do more of a triangular cut to just show that I acknowledge that the tail is there. So the top layer would have a triangular cut like this, so would the bottom one. Maybe this would be a little bit deeper like that, and maybe I should do them with different pens. So this sort would be like this. Let me erase that. It would cut all the way down here to accommodate the tail. This would be the outermost, cutting like this. And then I'll do the same for the last item. The shirt underneath would also sort of cut upward like this. So I'll just be making a gape in the back, but it will be a triangular gape. And then I'll focus on designing it so that it looks cool, just so it can accommodate the tail. For the Baggy hoodie, however, I'm going to go with a more circular hole. So I'm going to go with something like this. And this would have been something to really think about earlier, but things happen and sometimes you forget stuff. So it's going to be a hole like this. And hopefully I can fit some kind of a panel here. Right. And the great thing about this approach is that it will also ensure that the hoodie stays in place when the character is doing a lot of aggressive motions. It will stop the hood from sort of flying up in the way it was flying up when I was doing the simulation test and the character was doing a backflip. So this tail will kind of hold it in place, and we'll have something that just keeps it down here, and I think that'd be really cool.